Hey there, Pisces. It's me here, Krystal Clear. Happy to deliver to you Spirit's message for September 2024. We're going to start by pulling 2 cards for the overall energetic transformation that happens this month for you. We'll pull some tarot cards and then some cards for Spirit's advice. So, to start the month, the energy coming in, we've got when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be I will always be guided back to the light. Okay. Yes. So Pisces, having that higher perspective as you start the month reminds you of like where your focus is for learning, for growing, for learning and for growing. This feels a lot of even though we talk about love, and for some of you, this will address the relationship status in your life and what's going on there. But for the majority of you, since this is a general reading, your spiritual practices, your spiritual hygiene is really what's coming into focus this month for you, and to make sure that you're learning the lessons from like Spirit's perspective rather than from your own understanding or from even other people's perspective. And as you leave the month, it says, when I lean toward love, I am led. And both of these cards talk about love. So there's definitely a big following that is going to resonate with the love message, which is like, sometimes we have like a partner, or we have someone who is close to us, an intimate relationship, or maybe even like if you have like a co-parenting situation where you were with somebody, but you're not with them anymore, but you have like, this agreement between the two of you to be in space with each other. And sometimes love teaches us where we have like our insecurities, where we have some of our where our vulnerabilities lie, or where we like are uncertain, our shadows, right? Because we get all of these feelings that can come up when we are loving people. These vulnerabilities, they turn into insecurities. And then like the person becomes the lesson, right? So Spirit is encouraging you to try not to do that this month, to try to let Spirit guide you with the lesson, even if it's facilitated by a relationship in your life, even if it's through a certain person in your life that these messages are facilitated. Allow yourself to see the higher perspective rather than what you think the perspective is, or what you feel the perspective is, or what you see the perspective, or what the cycle has been, to allow the universe to step in. All right, so let's pull 4 tarot cards and go deeper with this message. We've got 9 of Cups in the reverse position and the Page of Cups in the reverse position. I think this is the first time reversals came out. Lucky you, Pisces. We've got Ace of Cups, but this makes sense. And the Justice card. It makes sense to what Spirit just channeled in, which is not focusing on what are other people doing, are there relationships, not what love has pulled out of you that has caused you to have some sort of question or uncertainty, or even like overly controlling an outcome or a situation, because I got this spiritual manifestation energies and skills, right? Like to not overdo your process when it comes to your due process from the divine, to allow yourself to stay open, to feel all the feelings, maybe without understanding, since there are no swords, to feel the feelings, and to allow, in this situation with the Justice card, yes, of course it can be that co-parenting type of energy for some of you. It will be. This is like the universal justice card. This is like the universal laws of attraction. And if you haven't studied those, I encourage you, dear listener, to go find, I'm happy to teach it to you. Feel free to look at Souled Up and doitdivine.com, where we talk about those kind of things. But there's lots of information out there where you can learn about the laws of the universe. It's not just the law of attraction, which is what we use for manifesting, but there's the law of vibration, there's the law of oneness, There's the law of duality, polarity. There's a law of gender. There's a law of rhythm. There's a law of correspondence. There's a lot of them. And so many times we look at just looking at the universe from this place of manifesting, and I have these spiritual practices. So number one, make sure. So I know I haven't pulled Spirit's advice, but I'm going to give it to you because it's coming in and channeling. Number one, make sure your spiritual hygiene didn't get hijacked by your ego is the best way to say that. Because trust me, even I have been there where I think this spiritual practice is cleansing my energy, and really what it's doing is putting to rest my ego. So make sure your hygiene spiritual practices are on point. Let's look at these one by one. We've got the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups in that upright position would say lots of opportunity for like coming together and figuring things out. But with it in the reverse position, it's like this is a solitude job. This goes back to, yes, you may have had a relationship trigger some insecurities or an experience trigger some insecurities, but it's not about that experience. It isn't even about that person. It's about yourself in it. What is it that you needed to learn? What is it that you needed for your soul's ascension and growth and process? We've got the Page of Cups. Not so bad in this upright position, in this reverse position. Although it can indicate, since the Page of Cups is kind of being like, you're in between. You don't really have a side either way. You're really blasé about it. So maybe you let things go for a little too long with a person, thinking that this was the right choice for you. And in many cases, it might have been the right spiritual choice for many, but not for maybe you, Pisces. But with Page of Cups, if you're in reverse, you might have tried to like either give up control completely. So you're like, I'm just going to let it be. And then Spirit's like, where's your discipline? Which would be the Justice card. You got to get that discipline back. It's not about necessarily surrendering and not doing anything. It's surrendering and then doing something in alignment. And so in order to be able to do something in alignment, okay, so it's either letting it go or it's completely like holding on to it, which would also be out of alignment. But that's what that Page of Cups reverse is about. So I feel like the second week of September for you, Pisces, you're realizing where you've either just completely thrown in the towel or you've tried to overly, I guess, navigate this situation. And there's a fine line between surrender and discipline. And you gotta find both of them. What best way to find that? In this third week and the fourth week of September, I think it can be your best weeks. Pisces, we've got the Ace of Cups, which is about feeling it. It's feeling it in all of the areas. It's looking into your body and identifying, where do I feel this in my body? You can use your energy to try to move it. I guess that would be Spirit's advice. Second advice would be to, once you're feeling these feelings that need healing, you can identify, are they in a place of my body? Is it in my mind? Like, where is it located? And try to isolate that area with a filter, an energetic filter, where you can, move that energy and to release it. That might be a good way to do surrender. But this third and fourth week, you really do start to feel it on all different levels. So you can get that awareness, Justice card, so that you can make the best decision. Nothing is right or wrong. It's just a decision. And then how we handle it determines our progress. Make a conscious decision. How's that? All right, so let's pull 3 cards for advice as you carry on this month. So we've got Call on Courage. You can see here that there's a little bit of uncertainty with courage. That doesn't mean that the situation is uncertain or that the outcome is uncertain. It doesn't mean that the work that you're doing, you need to be second guessing it. It just means a little bit of surrender, a little bit of not being able to see the outcome or see the awareness or see the progress allows for faith to step forward. Allows for courage to come out. So not to be afraid to have certain conversations. Since I don't see swords up here, and I don't see wands. Those are the 2 things I don't see. In fact, you've got all cups, so we're definitely working through the emotions this month, I just realized. Without the swords and the wands, your courage and the things that you'll need to work on to be vulnerable but with will be how you communicate with others, as well as how you navigate your energy in the space between. There you go. There's that energy, Pisces, alchemize. This is what this month sets you up as, though. When we've got love here and love there, and those of you that this has to do with the relationship, that you might be thinking about reconciliation, it feels like a good month for that. It feels like good awareness, good conversation, sharing our vulnerabilities. It's Mercury retrograde, so let's not rush it too. Oh, wait. Mercury retrograde will just be ending, and it will be out of its shadow phase by the third week, right? So by September, I think 10th is when it's finally in direct motion. So you do have some time for reconciliation in September if it happens. And we've got established sanctuary. It came in reverse, so I'm going to touch on that just a little bit, but I do feel overall it's about finding your peace. And when established sanctuary is in reverse, it could indicate that like this is uncertain, this is uncomfortable, but that doesn't make it wrong. It means you're just finding your peace and your place. So I hope this helps. I'm wishing you all the best. Love always. Take care.